Psycho is a 1960 American horror film produced and directed by Alfred Hitchcock. The career of Alfred Hitchcock spanned over 50 years, from black and white silent films onto color sound films. The master of suspense always showed an interest in architecture, and often space, or lack thereof, often played an essential role in his films. The motel itself makes use of space in many ways as well. Norman carefully assigns Marion the first room beside his office, simply because it's closer. In doing so, we later discover it's because he has a peephole in his office that he has devised as a way of peeping in on guests. Norman uses his peephole as a way of peeping in on Marion as she undresses. Norman's peephole shows us how the director merges together two spaces. The interiors in Psycho are an important part of the film's atmosphere. Hitchcock and his set designers deliberately chose a gothic, old-fashioned, Victorian-style decor to contrast with the modern-looking Bates Motel. Some key features of the interior design. For some practical reasons, the interior was scaled significantly larger, from extending the rooms to give production more space to move cameras to adding a vestibule to the home's entrance. Mother's bedroom, preserved like a shrine, with a large old-fashioned bed, lace curtains, heavy drapery, religious statuettes, and stuffed animals. In 1985, the Bates Motel was fully rebuilt for Psycho 3 to be directed by Anthony Perkins. In 1987, the NBC TV network announced plans for a TV pilot entitled Bates Motel. The motel in the film was remodeled to look very Spanish-like. This version of the set remained until 1994, when the new renovations were taken away and the motel was put back to look the way it did in the original Psycho. An episode of Murder, She Wrote from the early 1990s featured the Psycho House and Bates Motel as key locations in the popular Angela Lansbury series. In 1998, the Psycho House in California was renovated to preserve the set. All of the rotting wood was replaced and the set had a new paint job. That same year, plans to remake Psycho were announced. It was originally announced that Gus Van Sant was going to be using the original house and motel sets. However, the production team built a new Psycho house directly in front of the old one, and the motel was updated to look like it was from the 1960s. The new Psycho house was moved next to the original house and remained there for about 3 years after production. In 2003, due to popular demand, the remake Psycho house was torn down and the motel was restored to the original way once again. More recently, the house was featured in the direct-to-video horror release The Backlit Murders with actress Priscilla Barnes and the Frankie Muniz comedy film Big Fat Liar. In 1988, plans for Psycho 4, The Beginning were underway at Universal. Plans to shoot the movie in Orlando, Florida were set into motion and the film crew constructed an amazing full-scale replica of the Bates Motel and Psycho house at the soon-to-be-built Universal Studios Florida. The final dressing and painting was done by the Psycho 4 art department crew in 1990, but the house and motel was fully built in 1988, long before the production team was assembled for the project. After production wrapped, the sets were left as attractions at the park until 1998, when it was torn down to make room for a new kiddie play area. The backstory of the house: it was built by Keith Summers' great-great-grandfather, and supposedly holds dirty secrets. The Summers family lost the house to the bank, along with the motel, which were both later bought by Norma Bates in 2013 using the insurance money from her former husband Sam's death. After a series of incidents on the property, Norma attempted to sell the home, but later found out the property was not worth what she had bought it for, making it an underwater investment. Her plans for the home were to put in light, linen drapes, and fresh peonies, in addition to her making some handmade curtains for above the kitchen sink. Norma and Norman started a garden to the left of the house. Norma also had plans to add some fruit trees to the property with the assistance of Alex Romero while Norman was at Pine View. After Norman's death in the series finale, the property appears to having been sold to a young family after the price had been reduced in one of the ending scenes. The living room, main hallway on both floors, and in Norma's bedroom all feature full arched entrances, either plastered supported by wooden corbels or trimmed out, adding to the architectural magnificence of the home. The home has flat-paneled 5-panel arranged doors with decorative moldings on all the doors that don't have etched glass panels in them. One door in Norma's bedroom to the left of her bed is a 1920s 2-panel door that is presumably a closet that is never shown as being opened. The Bates house itself has always felt timeless, as if it's waiting for Norman to return. Norman will come back someday ties into the Gothic tradition, the idea that the house, and what it holds, outlives its occupants, and the darkness never truly leaves. Even though Norman is gone, the hilltop house remains like a shrine, its windows watching over the motel below.